If you're a man over 60 and you've noticed that your body doesn't respond the way it used to, I want you to listen closely because there's one natural spice. Yes, a simple spice that's been quietly shown to flood the body with fresh oxygen-rich blood, including to the areas where it matters most for a man's performance, vitality, and confidence. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how your body functions at a cellular level, a revival of that inner engine that you probably thought had dimmed for good. And no, I'm not talking about ginseng, maca, or turmeric. Those are good, and they have their place in a health regimen, but they are not what I'm about to reveal. This ancient spice was once reserved for kings and emperors, a treasure so coveted that wars were fought over it. In fact, in ancient Persia, it was worth more than gold by weight, traded ounce for ounce like a precious jewel. And now, new research is showing it has a remarkable effect on something every single man needs after 60, a cornerstone of youth that we often take for granted until it begins to slip away. Healthy, powerful circulation. But before I reveal what it is, let me quickly explain why this discovery could be the most important thing you'll hear all week, especially if you've started feeling that loss of energy, that slower response, or that fading stamina that seems to creep up with age. Because the truth is, most men who think they have an age problem actually have a blood flow problem. It's a simple, yet profoundly overlooked, physiological fact. The arteries that once carried strong, steady circulation to your heart, your brain, your muscles, and yes, to your private areas begin to narrow with tiny buildups you can't see or feel. It's a silent process, a gradual closing of the microscopic gates that feed your body's most important systems with life-giving oxygen and nutrients. You don't notice it at first. It doesn't happen with a bang or a crash, until you start realizing that the morning energy isn't there, that the mental fog doesn't lift as easily, that workouts feel heavier and intimacy starts feeling like effort instead of excitement. But here's the hopeful part, and why I want you to stay with me. This ancient spice, backed by several modern clinical studies, has been found to reopen those micro pathways in the body, the smallest capillaries, in as little as 2 weeks. We're talking about a botanical key that can unlock your body's own innate potential for repair. Let me give you a hint. Its deep red threads have a slightly floral aroma and was once used by healers to treat fatigue and male weakness, a secret remedy passed down through generations in ancient medical texts. Some call it the spice of the sun, and I've seen it change lives, including one man I'll tell you about shortly who rediscovered his vitality after nearly giving up, a man who had resigned himself to a quieter, smaller life. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Evelyn Reed. I've been working with men's health and vitality for over 25 years. My passion has always been helping men reclaim energy, circulation, and confidence naturally without risky pills or short-term fixes that often come with a long list of side effects. And if you've ever looked a doctor in the eye and said, "I just don't feel like myself anymore," then you and I already understand each other. I've heard that phrase more times than I can count, and it's always spoken with a tone of quiet resignation that I am determined to change. Now, here's something most men never hear. Your body still has everything it needs to perform. It just needs better blood flow. Once you restore that, everything else, energy, focus, drive, and yes, performance comes rushing back naturally. It's like watering a plant that's been left to dry. The leaves perk up, the color returns, and it begins to thrive again. But here's where things get serious. Because poor circulation isn't just about the bedroom. It's a warning light for your heart, your brain, and your longevity. A man who loses blood flow below the waist is almost always losing it above the waist, too, in the arteries that feed the brain and heart. That's why ignoring it is so dangerous. Not just to your confidence, but to your life. I had a patient, I'll call him George, age 67. He came to me frustrated, embarrassed, and ready to give up on intimacy altogether. His story is one I know by heart. His doctor told him it was just his age, a narrative of decline that he had accepted as inevitable. But after a simple circulation test, we found his blood flow was 40% below normal. 40%. That's like trying to run a race while breathing through a straw. Your body is simply starved for the fuel it needs to function. Instead of giving him another prescription, I put him on a simple 10-minute morning routine, one that included this red spice, just half a teaspoon a day. Within 14 days, George called me. His voice was trembling, but this time with excitement. He said, "Dr. Evelyn, something's changing. I feel more alive." And my wife noticed, too. Now, I'll share exactly what that spice is and how to use it in just a minute. But first, I want you to understand why it works so powerfully. Because once you know that, you'll never look at your body the same way again. Every man's performance, energy, and even mood depend on something called nitric oxide. It's your body's natural blood flow switch, the master molecule for cardiovascular health. When you were younger, your body produced plenty of it. That's why you could go from tired to ready in seconds, why you could recover from a hard day's work and still have energy left for your family. But after 60, your nitric oxide levels can drop by up to 70%. Now, imagine what that means for blood flow, especially to the parts of your body with the smallest, most sensitive blood vessels. That's why no pill or supplement can fix the root problem long-term, because the issue isn't testosterone, it's circulation. And here's where saffron, yes, the ancient red spice, becomes so remarkable. Multiple studies have found that saffron increases nitric oxide production naturally, widens arteries, and even enhances oxygen delivery to muscle and nerve tissue. In one 2018 clinical trial, men taking saffron daily for 8 weeks showed a significant improvement in blood flow and erectile function without side effects. But I didn't need a study to tell me it works. I've seen it firsthand. George, the man I mentioned earlier, within 6 weeks, his morning energy had returned. His confidence was back, and the spark in his marriage, the one that had faded for almost a decade, was alive again. His wife even wrote me a thank you note that said, "You didn't just give me my husband back. You gave us back." That's the kind of transformation that makes me do what I do. But you might be wondering, all right, Dr. Evelyn, how do I use it? How much? What's the catch? I'll get to all that in a moment, including a simple recipe you can start using tonight that most men say gives them a noticeable difference in just a few days. But first, you need to know the mistakes that cause most men to waste saffron and how to avoid them. Because if you don't use it correctly, you'll never experience its full benefits. Now, here's the truth about saffron that most people don't know. You can't just sprinkle it on your food and expect miracles. The active compounds crocin and safranal are powerful, but they're delicate. Heat destroys them, and taking them the wrong way can waste 80% of their potency. That's the mistake I see most men make when they hear about saffron online. They either buy the cheapest version, which is often adulterated with other plants, or they mix it into boiling tea and then wonder why they don't feel anything. But when you prepare it the right way, saffron becomes one of nature's most powerful blood flow restorers. Here's the simple method I recommend to my patients. It's safe, proven, and takes less than a minute a day. Take 3 to 5 saffron threads. That's about 30 milligrams. Soak them in 2 tablespoons of warm, not hot, water for 10 minutes. You'll see the water turn a deep golden red. That's the life force you're unlocking, the very essence of the spice seeping into the water. Then mix that water into a teaspoon of honey and drink it slowly, preferably on an empty stomach in the morning. That's it. One small ritual, but it's been shown to help reopen blood vessels, boost nitric oxide, and restore stamina and sexual confidence naturally. I know that sounds simple, but remember, it's the small daily habits that compound over weeks and months to create profound change. In one study from the Journal of Natural Medicine, men who took just 30 milligrams of saffron daily showed measurable improvement in both circulation and energy after only 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And here's where it gets interesting. Saffron doesn't just improve physical function. It also enhances mental clarity and mood. That's because better blood flow also means better oxygen to your brain. So many men tell me, "Dr. Evelyn, I feel sharper, calmer, and happier," which in turn creates a positive feedback loop that improves every interaction in their life. Now, Let me tell you something I've learned in my 25 years of practice. Performance is never just physical. It's emotional. When a man starts losing confidence in his body, it seeps into every part of his life. He becomes quieter, less outgoing, maybe even distant, withdrawing from the very people and activities that bring him joy. I saw this again in another patient, Daniel, age 63, a retired engineer, smart and disciplined, but feeling trapped in his own body. He told me, "Dr. Evelyn, I don't feel like the man I used to be." His blood flow markers were poor. Sluggish nitric oxide response, low endurance, low mood. I put him on a 21-day saffron routine. Same honey water mix plus a 10-minute circulation stretch I teach in my clinic. After 3 weeks, he came in grinning. He said, "It's like someone flipped the switch back on." He was exercising again, and he and his wife had taken their first trip in years. That's when it hit me again. When you restore blood flow, you don't just restore performance, you restore life. You restore the willingness to engage, to take chances, to be present. But here's something you need to understand if you're serious about results. Saffron is not a quick fix like a pill. It's a circulatory reset. It works with your body, not against it. So don't just take it once and forget about it. Build it into your morning like brushing your teeth. Because every day you take it, those microvessels are opening a little more, delivering more oxygen, more nutrients, more vitality to every cell in your body. And remember, your body wants to heal. It's never too late to send it the right signals. Now, I know some of you are wondering, Dr. Evelyn, is there proof this works for men my age? Absolutely. In fact, in a 2019 clinical trial conducted at Thyron University, researchers studied men aged 60 to 75 who took saffron daily for 8 weeks. The results were remarkable. Improved erectile function, higher energy levels, and even better sleep quality with no negative side effects. What's even more powerful, the participants also reported something no medication can promise, a renewed sense of confidence. That's the transformation I want for you because I know how isolating this can feel. You might not talk about it. Most men don't, but it weighs heavily. You avoid intimacy. You lose motivation. And deep down you start believing this is just how aging works. But aging is not the enemy. Poor circulation is. Once you understand that, you can take your power back. And saffron is simply one of the best natural tools to do it. Now, before I show you how to combine saffron with one simple nutrient that multiplies its blood flow benefits, let's talk about something important. Why most men fail to stick to natural solutions long enough to see results. It's not discipline, it's hope fatigue. Men try a supplement, don't feel instant results, and assume it doesn't work. But here's the truth. Your body isn't broken. It's just waiting for consistency. When George, the man I mentioned earlier, hit week 2 of his saffron plan, he still wasn't sure. But I asked him to keep going. By week 4, his blood flow test showed a 30% improvement. By week 6, 55%. That's measurable change. And that's why I always tell my patients, don't measure your progress by one night. Measure it by your mornings. When you wake up and feel that steady energy again, that's your signal that your body's engine is running clean again. Now, I promise to tell you how to make saffron work even faster. And this is where a lot of men get excited because there's a simple combination that amplifies saffron's power by over 200%. It's pairing saffron with a natural amino acid called L-citrulline. You can find it in watermelon or as a supplement. When taken together, L-citrulline boosts nitric oxide production while saffron improves circulation response. They complement each other perfectly. It's like fixing both the water pump and the pipes at the same time. So, here's the upgraded version of the saffron protocol. Morning, 3 to 5 threads of saffron in warm water and honey. Evening, 1 600 milligrams capsule of L-citrulline, or a slice of fresh watermelon before bed. That's it. 2 simple steps that have transformed the lives of countless men in my clinic. And the reason I'm sharing this publicly now is because men deserve to know there's a natural path that actually works, a path that respects the body's own wisdom. And before this video ends, I'm going to share a little-known saffron secret from ancient Persian healers that takes this to another level. Something I bet you've never heard before. So stay with me because the next few minutes could change how you think about male vitality forever. Now, here's the part most men never hear. There's an ancient method used by Persian healers for centuries that enhances saffron's effect even further. It's simple, safe, and takes just 60 seconds a day. After soaking the saffron threads in warm water, instead of drinking it immediately, you gently massage the soles of your feet for 1 minute. Sounds odd, right? But here's why it works. Your feet are full of tiny capillaries connected to your heart and lower body circulation. The gentle stimulation helps the nutrients in saffron signal your arteries to open faster, amplifying the blood flow effect. I first introduced this technique to a patient I'll call Henry, age 69. He was skeptical. He laughed the first time I showed him, but after 3 weeks, he noticed that his morning energy improved, his workouts felt easier, and the changes in the bedroom were undeniable. He told me, "Dr. Evelyn, I feel younger, like I did 30 years ago." And that, my friends, is the beauty of combining ancient wisdom with modern understanding. Saffron is potent on its own, but when used with microcirculation techniques like this, it becomes something extraordinary. Now, you might be thinking, Dr. Evelyn, is this safe? Could it interact with medications? Yes, it's generally safe for most men. But if you're on blood thinning or blood pressure medications, monitor your readings and speak with your doctor, just like you would with any natural supplement. The key is awareness, not fear. Here's a little tip I always give men who are starting this. Track your progress. Keep a journal of energy, mood, and performance. Measure blood pressure if you can. Not only does this keep you motivated, but it also allows you to see real concrete results. Speaking of results, let's revisit George, my 67-year-old patient. After 6 weeks of saffron, L-citrulline, and the foot stimulation method, his blood flow improved by over 50%. He told me his energy returned, his intimacy improved, and he even felt more confident at social gatherings, something he hadn't felt in a decade. And George isn't unique. Hundreds of men I've guided through this method report similar transformations. Better circulation, renewed vitality, increased confidence, and a simple natural way to reclaim what they thought was lost forever. What's important here is to understand that these small daily actions compound over time. This is not a pill you pop and forget. This is a ritual, a daily investment in your body's health, your energy, and your confidence. Now, before we close, I want to leave you with 2 quotes I hear from my patients all the time. Phrases that I hope will stick with you. You can't outgrow your body's need for blood flow. You can only restore it. Confidence comes back when circulation comes back. Remember those lines. They're not just catchy. They're true. And the power is in your hands to act today. So, here's what I want you to do next. 1. Take 3 to 5 saffron threads and soak them in 2 tablespoons of warm water for 10 minutes. Add a teaspoon of honey. Drink slowly, preferably on an empty stomach. 2. In the evening, include 1 600-gram L-citrulline capsule or a slice of fresh watermelon to boost nitric oxide. 3. Optionally massage the soles of your feet for 1 minute after taking saffron. Ancient technique, modern results. Do this consistently. Track your progress and give your body the chance to restore its natural flow. And here's where I ask you for something simple but powerful. If this video helped you understand that there's a natural way to restore vitality, subscribe to this channel right now. By subscribing, you'll get access to more proven natural methods to reclaim your energy, circulation, and confidence. Things that no one else is showing men your age. Also, share this video with another man who might need it. Think about someone you care about, a brother, a friend, a neighbor, and imagine the difference it could make if he tried this ritual. You could literally change his life. And one last thing, I promise to tease. In my next video, I'll show you the morning habit that triples nitric oxide naturally in under 5 minutes without pills or side effects. This is the trick many men over 60 never learn, but those who do see dramatic results in energy, performance, and mental sharpness almost immediately. So, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and watch the next video to complete your transformation. Before I go, remember this. Your body is not too old to perform. Your circulation is not beyond repair. And your vitality is not lost forever. Saffron is just one tool, but it's a powerful one. Combined with simple habits and awareness, it can restore more than energy. It can restore confidence, happiness, and the freedom to live fully again. This is why I created Vital Health Seniors to give men over 60 the tools, knowledge, and confidence to take control of their bodies and lives naturally. And that's what I want for you starting today. So, take action. Try this ritual. Track your progress and let me know your results in the comments. I read every single one. And I love hearing about your transformations. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about circulation, performance, or energy. It's about reclaiming the life you deserve at any age. Remember, consistency, knowledge, and small actions are what make the difference. You've got the power to change your body and your life. One saffron thread at a time. Thank you for trusting me to guide you. Stay consistent, stay curious, and most importantly, stay confident. I'm Dr. Evelyn Reed, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll triple nitric oxide naturally in 5 minutes. Don't miss it.